In a world where goalkeepers are becoming increasingly adept with the ball at their feet, Ederson is perhaps the benchmark in that regard. There may be a handful of more formidable goalkeepers in world football in terms of keeping the ball out the back of their net, but in terms of composure with the ball at their feet, and particularly in terms of their range of passing, Ederson is surely the pick of the bunch. The Brazilian proved his class in this regard yet again just a couple of weeks ago when he picked out a long left-footed ball which found its way to the in-form Ilkay Gundogan, who put Tottenham to the sword, giving Ederson his first assist of this season and his second in the Premier League to date. Now, last month, I made a video taking a look at a number of forwards who have scored fewer goals than Real Madrid centre-back Sergio Ramos over the course of their entire careers. It was a suggestion from the community and a bit of a silly one, but people seem to enjoy it. So today, I thought I would try and repeat the trick with a similar video taking a look at midfielders who have made fewer assists, that is to say, no assists, so far this season in all competitions. Naturally, I've tried to pick out 7 midfielders you might find interesting or surprising, so there'll be no Fabinho, who plays in holding midfield at the best of times and has deputised at centre-back for most of this season, meaning his lack of assists is about as surprising as Brighton playing well for 90 minutes and losing anyway. Without further ado then, here are 7 midfielders who have made fewer assists than Ederson this season. TOMAS SOUCEK. Partly included because I just never tire of talking about this lad, I think TOMAS SOUCEK's lack of assists this season is simultaneously surprising and not that surprising. On the one hand, SOUCEK is a defensive come box-to-box midfielder who operates in something of a double pivot alongside Declan Rice, where his primary role is to cover loads of ground, snuff out opposition attacks, and get West Ham moving up the pitch. SOUCEK is brilliant at all of those things, but none of them tend to lead to a defence-splitting pass or a De Bruyne-esque ball into the box. On the other hand, SOUCEK has 9 goals this season, and for a man who is so often getting into attacking areas and making a telling contribution, it is a little unusual that he hasn't registered a single assist in 34 outings for club and country so far this term. Of course, the majority of SOUCEK's goals have been scored with his head, often from set pieces, but even in those instances, you might have thought his aerial dominance would lead to 1 or 2 flick-ons, potentially resulting in someone else putting the ball in the back of the net. After all, SOUCEK's partner in midfield, Declan Rice, who tends to take up even deeper positions, has recorded an assist this season, in addition to his 2 goals. For whatever reason, SOUCEK just hasn't turned provider for the Hammers yet, in a run which extends all the way back to his arrival over 12 months ago and covers all competitions. That's in contrast to his time at Slavia Prague, where he made 12 assists to his 28 goals in the league, and he actually recorded more assists than goals for the club in the Europa League. BRAIS MENDEZ. An often frustrating footballer, a couple of seasons ago, BRAIS MENDEZ looked destined for the bright lights of the Bernabeu, the Camp Nou, or the Wanda Metropolitano, as he lit up La Liga with his boyhood club Celta Vigo. In his first season as a regular starter for Galicia's current number 1 club, MENDEZ notched 6 goals and 7 assists that were crucial in keeping Celta's heads above the water in the fight against relegation. His form was so impressive that he even broke into the Spanish national team, winning his first cap and scoring the winning goal in a friendly game against Bosnia and Herzegovina. He was linked with everyone from Tottenham to Bayern Munich, but MENDEZ ended up signing a contract extension with his hometown club on a deal set to run until 2024. In the 2.5 seasons since, however, the 24-year-old has struggled to post anything like those sorts of numbers. Having failed to score a single goal last season, MENDEZ has bagged 5 so far this term, though he's yet to make his first assist, as you might have gathered from his inclusion in this 7. It must be said that MENDEZ has played more in central midfield than in his preferred role as a number 10 for much of this season, but still, his lack of creative output for a man of his admittedly mercurial talents is surprising over the course of more than 1,500 minutes of football. Thiago Alcantara. Back to the Premier League in 5th, Thiago Alcantara's lack of assists at Liverpool won't come as any great surprise to those who watched much of him in his final season at Bayern Munich, but to those who didn't, he is often viewed as an endlessly creative midfield playmaker. Indeed, Thiago is just that in many respects, it's just that much of his creativity comes from deep, a little like Xavi, meaning that he routinely provides the assist for the assist, but rarely gets the actual assist, something that has become increasingly true over the last couple of years. Thiago has never really posted great stats though in truth. Across his entire career, if you combine goals and assists, the Spaniard has only averaged roughly 1 goal contribution every 4 games. His most creative season was the 2016-17 campaign when he made 8 assists, in addition to scoring 8 goals. Last season though, the former Barcelona man failed to record a single Bundesliga assist, even in a wildly free-scoring Bayern Munich side, and despite managing a couple in the Champions League. It's a theme which has continued this season, although in both the league and cup competitions this season, and Thiago also hasn't scored a single goal. Of course, he has had his injury problems this season, but he's still played over 1,200 minutes of football for both club and country in all competitions, which is equivalent to more than 13 full 90-minute matches. By the same token, obviously, none of this detracts from the fact that Thiago is a magnificent footballer, and the same goes for every inclusion in this 7 in case there was any confusion. I'm not saying that any of them aren't good midfielders, if anything it's the opposite, hence why their lack of assists may come as a surprise. Gómez. Have you heard the one about the Spanish number 10 with great vision, excellent technique, and a fine range of passing who can't seem to buy an assist this season? Well, that would be Moi. No, not me, everyone knows I'm the king of assists, and that I taught Kevin De Bruyne everything he knows, but Gómez, Villarreal's 25-year-old midfield magician. Born in Alicante, Gómez began his career with Villarreal, where he made almost 100 appearances before being sold to Sporting Gijon. In 2019, the Yellow Submarine decided that they wanted him back, securing his return for the bargain fee of just 1.3 million euros. Now he is a regular fixture in a really gifted midfield, which is one of the reasons why his lack of assists is so surprising. Gómez made 7 assists in La Liga during his final season with Huesca and 5 in his first season back at Villarreal last term. This season, despite banging a couple of goals and making 21 starts in the league, assists have eluded him. It must be said that he has rarely played centrally this season, as either an 8 or as a 10, but he has instead played primarily on the left flank, and particularly on the left of a front 3, though I'm not sure whether that makes his lack of assists better or worse. Interestingly, Gómez's teammate and fellow Villarreal midfielder, Vicente Iborra, has also failed to register a single assist so far this term. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a player I like a lot, and I have done for a long time. His combination of strength and skill give him all the attributes to be a rare gem in midfield, but injuries and a lack of opportunities at Chelsea have stunted his development. Now aged 25, it's tough to see him reaching the heights he once seemed capable of, though far be it from me to write him off. If Loftus-Cheek is to turn things around though, he'll probably have to offer a little bit more than he has done so far this term during the second half of his season-long loan with Fulham. The Englishman made the short journey from Stamford Bridge to Craven Cottage following the arrivals of the likes of Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech at Chelsea. I must admit I thought he could be a great signing by Fulham, and that he could even be their best shot at survival. But it hasn't really turned out that way, or not yet certainly. It's not that Loftus-Cheek has been bad, he's still shown some nice touches and pieces of play at times, he's just yet to really grab a game by the scruff of the neck and show what he's capable of. That's borne out by the statistics, which show that he has scored just 1 goal and hasn't registered a single assist all season, despite having registered 24 appearances, the majority of which have seen him feature in an advanced central or attacking midfield role. From that position, he really ought to have grabbed a few assists, even as he looks to bounce back from a nasty setback in a far from prolific Fulham team that is fighting relegation. I'd still back him to grab an assist or 2 before the season is done, and I cross my fingers that we can start to see something like his best form from him over the next few months, as will Fulham fans, no doubt. Saúl Ñíguez. Saúl Ñíguez is many things. Versatile, well-disciplined, talented, hard-working, athletic. I would even go as far as to say that he is the most versatile and well-rounded footballer on the planet at this moment in time, and I don't think there's anyone else, not even James Milner, who could play in every single outfield position with as much aptitude as the Spaniard. Nonetheless, one thing that he isn't is a master in the fine art of assists. Saúl is a brilliant passer of the ball, and he can no doubt spot a pass. It just tends not to be the pass that creates a goal. Across the entire course of his career, he has averaged fewer than 1 assist every 23 games, which is a pretty abysmal record in truth. If you were aware of that stat, then the fact that he has yet to record an assist in 24 outings so far this term is par for the course, though presumably it means he's due one in the next couple of weeks. If you're less familiar with Saúl's statistics though, and you just see a brilliant midfielder with all the tools to set up goals, that fact may come as a surprise. The 26-year-old jack of all trades, who has been capped 19 times by Spain, didn't record a single assist all of last season, meaning he has now gone more than 18 months in total without notching a single assist. That's pretty extraordinary. You might have thought he'd have got one by accident during that time. A mishit shot falling into someone's path, a random ball into the box, just a pass to Joao Felix, who then beats 4 defenders and scores himself. Nope. None of them. Zilch. Luis Alberto. Top spot in the 7 was the easiest decision I'm ever likely to make, unless I happen to be asked whether I'd like to punch Tim Martin in the face anytime soon. That's because for the last few years, Luis Alberto has consistently led the assist charts not just in Serie A, but he has been up there with the likes of Lionel Messi, Thomas Muller and Kevin De Bruyne in lists combining the leading creators across Europe's top 5 leagues. The ex-Liverpool flop has been a revelation ever since his second season at Lazio, bagging 17 assists last season and a career-best 19 assists in the 2017-18 campaign. Perfectly suited to playing as either an 8 or as a 10, Alberto is a genuinely world-class passer of the ball with his favoured right foot. Though he wreaks the most havoc playing in attacking midfield, it's in central midfield that he's played most frequently this season, something we can probably get used to as he gets closer to the age of 30. Whilst he has already bagged 7 goals so far this term, already his second most productive campaign on that front, his assists are nowhere to be seen. Lazio have struggled for goals all round this season, becoming by far the lowest scorers in Serie A's top 7, and Ciro Immobile hasn't been as routinely devastating as he was last term. No doubt that has played a part in Alberto's diminished assist statistics, along with his slightly deeper role. But to go from knocking on the door of 20 assists in a season to none is rather bizarre, especially for someone so talented, and that's why he has to take top spot. I wouldn't really punch Tim Martin in the face, by the way. You all know that I'm a lover, not a fighter. I just think he's a brain-dead I might have to censor some of that. Anyhow, thank you all as ever for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Give us a comment if you've anything to say of interest, or even if you don't, just leave a comment if you feel like it. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the little notification bell so that you get a notification whenever we upload a video. And you can also find me on Twitter or Instagram, should you wish to do so, by the username at HITC Sevens on both platforms.